Yo, what's good, people? It's Cactus, and we're back again with episode 5 of Cactus Convos. Today, I've got a very special guest with me. He's a sick producer, an incredible producer, actually. He's been killing it on YouTube, growing a huge fan base on there. And this is probably the most requested podcast as well. When I started the podcast, I asked everyone who I should get on, and about 90% of the people said Ocean. So, Ocean, what's good, my bro?
Hey, man, what's good, man? I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. Staying busy, just trying to keep my head up through lockdown, through these boring times.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you're the same, right?
That's the way. Definitely, man. Definitely. Thanks for having me on, though, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, honestly, I appreciate you coming on. When I just said that then about most people asking for you, that was no lie. When I started the podcast, I just put up a post just to see who people would want on. Mm-hmm. And literally about 90% of people said Ocean. I don't know if you were getting tagged by people or you saw me tagging you or whatever, man. But how does that feel, knowing that you've got such a sick fan base out there, such a loyal fan base?
No, man, it's really good. You know what? Sometimes I forget because I'm literally stuck in this room. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was sitting here and I was like, I wonder how much hours I just spend in this room in a week, because I never leave. Unless I'm going Tesco, I'm going gym, where I'm not even going anymore because it's lockdown. Yeah, I'm just stuck in this room. So I forget sometimes that the people actually watch my videos.
Seems crazy, doesn't it? When you're just looking at the same four walls all the time, you forget about everyone else out there.
Literally, it's like I'm in my own bubble. I put a video out, then I'm on to the next thing, and I just really forget about it, not realizing, oh wait, like people are watching these videos, and it's actually making somewhat of an impact. So that's cool.
And it's not just 10 people watching it either. It's like thousands of people watching it, which is a crazy thing, really.
It's crazy.
Did you imagine it getting to this level when you first started the YouTube channel? Did you always have that end goal in mind? Or were you just putting content out and just seeing where it took you?
It's kind of like a yes or no. No, because like for a long time, I was just putting out video upon video, and nothing was happening. And I wasn't attached to the numbers or anything. It was just like, all right, let's put this one out, next one, put this one out, next one. Yeah. But then at the same time, when I sat down and really processed, like, what am I actually doing? I always thought, like, one day can become something. One day, you just have to keep going. One day it's going to get loads of views, or maybe not millions, but, thousands, and people will watch. But whilst I was in that moment, no, I was just thinking to keep on putting out content.
Yeah. I think you started the channel, is it maybe 4 years ago?
So my first video was April 2017. So that's 3 years ago. But I didn't take it seriously until later on in that year. So let's say like October, November time. So yeah, there's been like 3 or 4 years now so far.
That's crazy. I actually went back to your first videos. I think I've seen them before, but I thought I'll go check and see how Ocean started. And yeah, I think the first ever video that I saw on your channel it's literally just you at a desk, isn't it? I don't think there's any screen recording. It's just, I don't know what camera you were using, but everything was just like, okay, this is just like a standard video, isn't it?
It was rough, man. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just, you can hear like the bad audio coming from the speakers straight into the camera. Yeah, it was a madness. It's a rough one.
It's quite inspiring to see, though. I'm sure it is for other people as well that might not have the equipment, and they might think that they need to buy everything straight away to get a YouTube channel started. But really, it's not the case. You can do a lot with your phone. I think even Simon Savida films everything with his iPhone, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he might not even have an iPhone. He has like an Android or something, and he just films everything through that. So you don't really need. Obviously, it's nice and it makes things easier, but it shouldn't be the thing that holds you back, It doesn't, at the end of the day, it's kind of just the quality of the content that really matters.
Yeah, 100%, I agree. But let's start way back from the beginning, from a young Ocean. Talk to me about how you even got into music. I know you've probably told the story a few times, but just for anyone that doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I could say that I really started music when I was like 14, 15. I'm a person that likes all kinds of music. So I know that sounds cliche, but literally, like when I was 14, I was listening to like soul music, rare grooves from the 70s. And then, like I'm a big UK garage fan as well. So I was like bumping that hard. Yeah. And then I would like punk rock and just really random genres. And I used to play, I remember I was like 14, I joined like a punk rock band and tried to like teach myself guitar.
Yeah.
And then I switched and played in a soul band and taught myself bass guitar. And I was really into that. That was my whole life until one day I was about 16 and my dad's like, all right, you can't really do this music thing. It's not really like a proper thing. You need to focus on your school, like you're dipping.
Yeah.
And obviously I was crushed as well, but I was like, you know what? He's probably right. I don't know if this music thing is really going to go anywhere. So let's just focus. And honestly, like I became a nerd. Like I was just super into school.
Yeah.
Just like studying hard and all that kind of thing. And then I applied to go to university, what do you call it? 18, so the end of sixth form.
Right.
I didn't get in the first year. So I was forced to take a gap year. And during that gap year, I kind of got involved with, you know what, during that gap year, I was just lost in it. I didn't know what to do. It wasn't looking likely that I was even going to get into uni a second time. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Yeah, delivery.
So you were saying that you were, you had a gap year. You didn't really know what was going to happen. You didn't know if you were going to get into uni.
Yeah, so during that gap year, I applied to uni again. Didn't get, it wasn't looking likely that I was going to get in. And I was just working these like odd jobs. I probably had about 5 or 6 jobs during that whole year. I was just lost.
What were you trying to get into, by the way?
I was trying to study medicine. No, it's calm. I was trying to study medicine and to become a doctor, which is crazy to think now because I don't think I could ever do it. But that's what I really wanted to do back then. And so during that gap year, I was working in like phone shops. I was working as like an assistant teacher. I was just doing everything just to get by, and I couldn't hold down a job. And I kind of knew that, you know, maybe I need to be more of an entrepreneur and like start a business. And that's when I started like researching how to do online business, how to make money online. I went down this crazy loophole of just like reading loads of blogs on how to do it. And so when it come round to, let's say, September of that year, where I'm meant to be going to university, I just told everyone, you know, I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to do a quick backpacking trip.
Yeah.
I'll be back in like 2-3 weeks. But I booked a one-way ticket. I didn't tell anyone. And I just knew I was never coming back.
You had no intentions of coming back, did you? Like, I'm out of here. I just literally left to Thailand, packed all my shit. And I kind of just figured out how to do online business. Because at the time as well, let's say this is like 2014, there was a huge community of entrepreneurs in Thailand for some reason. Really? They were all working online. There was like this hub, this place. Imagine like this place. Almost like an office space, but loads of desks. And honestly, it was like almost like a youth club a bit. Right.
And,
but for entrepreneurs.
Everyone is just there, all these online entrepreneurs. So we're just like, we're just talking about business all day. You know, how to do Facebook ads, how to do email marketing. Like I was just in this world.
How did you even hear about that? Because it just seems like it just seems quite random that you'd go to Thailand to be in this entrepreneur bubble. How did you even hear about it?
This was me just researching online these blogs. And there was a blog at the time. He was just talking about how he's running his business from Thailand and how like there's a little community building there, like a little group of entrepreneurs. And then when I got there, every month it just got bigger and bigger and bigger as I was there. So I kind of got involved in that world. I went to Thailand dead broke. I kind of just had to figure out some shit. Yeah. Let's say 6 months down the line, I finally stumbled across something that made me a bit of money. And that kind of allowed me to just travel for a while, earn money online and travel. And I did that for about, we could say about 3 or 4 years. And but during that time as well, I'm a guy who kind of just gets obsessed about things. Like I might stumble across something and just kind of throw myself into it. Yeah. So I started getting into martial arts as well. And let's say 2 years into this journey. It's a perfect place
to be over there. Was it Muay Thai?
Yeah, they got Muay Thai. There's this place called Phuket, and there's a road of just MMA gyms, Muay Thai gyms. It's like utopia for fighters. You never have to leave this road. They got
That's crazy.
Healthy nutrition, clothing. It's just for fighters to come train and not have to worry about anything. Like everything is there for them. So let's say about 2 or 3 years into that journey of just traveling, I decided to move to that road in Phuket. and I joined MMA gym, and I was training every day, twice a day, just jiu-jitsu every single day. But during this time as well, because I'm training like twice a day, I have a lot of time to just recover.
Yeah.
I just had a lot of dead time, and that's when I started getting back into music again. I started listening to a lot of UK music. It started to just have some sort of a resurgence.
Right.
This was about the time where, I don't know if you remember, like Chip and Bugsy Malone had the beef.
Yeah.
And every diss track was just going viral every time they put out
That's
something
right.
new.
I remember that.
So yeah, I just started getting back into music again, and I decided to download Logic. Started messing around with it in my spare time when I wasn't training. And then the year, it was about January 2016, and I said to myself, all right, New Year's resolution, I want to practice every day for 3 days. And kind of just threw myself into it. Yeah, so January 2016, I set myself the New Year's resolution of making beats every day. I honestly just calculated it like it takes 10,000 hours to master a craft, right?
Right.
So I thought, if I divide this by 3 hours every day, it's probably going to take me, if I remember the maths, it was maybe like 9.5 or 10 years, something like that. So I thought, this is one thing that I actually think I could do for 10 years and not get bored of. Whereas everything else, I've kind of started, stopped, loved it for a moment, but then moved on to something else.
Yeah.
But this music thing, I actually really enjoy it. So let me give it a go. And for that,
what do you think it was? Do you think it was the creativity or just the love for music?
I think it was the love for music, honestly. Like I always loved music, and I just always had a curiosity to see how it was made. And
right,
I don't know, the possibilities when I got Logic was just, you could create so many different things. It was, I don't know, I just really loved the process of doing it as well. So
yeah,
that's when I kind of just decided, I'm going to throw myself into this.
Right. That's crazy then. So you didn't try anything else like FL? Was it just Logic straight away?
No, because at the time, there wasn't a stable version of FL on the Mac, and I was using a Mac.
Okay.
So I just downloaded Logic and went straight for that.
Yeah.
And just started going through there, yeah.
Do you think that's helped you in the long run with the YouTube channel? Because there's not a lot of people doing Logic tutorials, or at least that I've found anyway. It seems like everyone's doing FL Studio tutorials. So do you think that's been just one of the keys to success, being just kind of filling that pocket of being the Logic guy in a way?
Yeah, I think so for sure. As you said, like there are Logic guys, but most of the Logic guys do EDM or more like electronic, like house or techno or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's only maybe a few of us who do Logic and hip hop. So I think it's definitely almost like a niche kind of thing, which has helped. I guess I've
definitely
become like one of the go-tos for Logic. There are more people popping up, like shout out RMC, he's doing his thing with Logic.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like a few others that I can't remember, but yeah, I think it's definitely helped.
Yeah, it must help a bit. So when you started, was it always hip hop that you were making, or were you experiencing other genres, like trying different things, or was it just always hip hop?
It was mainly hip hop. It was mainly like trap, dabbled in a few grime, dabbled in a few R&B. I even tried a few garage tracks. But most of it was just hip hop, because that's something that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be a hip hop producer. I wasn't trying to do like EDM or anything like that. No offense to those guys. Those guys are sick at what they do. But it's just something that I never really, I don't listen to EDM, so I thought there's no point me even trying that. Let's just like stick to the hip hop and get
Tell you
popping.
what, EDM producers are some of the best sound designers ever.
Yeah.
I've always found that when someone makes an EDM track, they can spend weeks on one track designing 100%. Every sound from scratch. They even, in their community, from what I've heard, they'll even kind of judge each other if they're using presets. You know, like we don't care in hip hop. We'll take any samples, we'll do anything with it and make a beat in 10 minutes. But in the EDM world, it's meant to be quite strict. It's like
it's
you have
crazy,
to design
like,
everything.
If you ever see their project file as well, they got tracks upon tracks upon tracks. Like for me, when I'm making a trap beat, I probably never pass like 15, 20 tracks. These guys have got like hundreds of tracks, a track for just one sound that comes in at a specific moment and never comes in again. Like it's just so unique. It's crazy how they produce, man.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, because to me, if I was doing something like that and spending so long on that one track, I'd hate that track by the time it's finished. I'm
Oh
sure you get
yeah,
the same when you've heard your same beat. Even if you're making a beat for an hour or two, you end up almost not liking it by the end of it because you've heard it so many times. So,
yeah, definitely.
man, I don't know how them guys feel.
Yeah, man.
So when you started the YouTube channel,
Hmm.
was that just another form of content that you wanted to put out and see where it went? Were you trying other things as well, or was it just like, no, do you know what? To make it, I need to be, I need to be known on YouTube. Was that the main goal, or were you just trying things?
Honestly, I got to a point where it's like, all right, I've made a lot of beats, but I'm just not doing nothing with them. They're just sitting there.
Right.
And and as well, like my brother was huge into YouTube. He used to watch not even just music YouTubers, but YouTubers like FouseyTube and Roman Atwood and
Yeah.
those kind of people. And he was the first person to tell me about like internet money and Taz Taylor. He's like, bro, Taz Taylor
Really?
does vlogs. He's making so much money selling beats and selling kits, and like you should do this. And in the beginning, I was like, nah, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not trying to be in front of the camera. I'm trying
Yeah.
to be behind the scenes. And then like, no, like you should do it. You should do it. I took it on board, but I never, like, and it didn't hit hard enough for me to do it. But
Yeah.
then I saw Pat Ryan pop up. He done a video. In fact, he was probably like the first Logic guy.
Right.
One of the first in like this new resurgence, I guess, of beat makers on YouTube to put out a video. And he was literally just not even a screen recording, just making a beat layer by layer.
Okay.
And it popped off and it got like 1 million views, maybe more than 1 million views. And yeah, me and my brother showed that to me, and I was just like, you know what, that's actually quite sick. I'm sure I could do something like that.
Yeah.
Again, didn't really register enough for me to take action. But then I saw Sharp pop up, and he was like uploading a video every single day, just doing random stuff, random producer challenge videos. So like making a beat at 1,000 BPM, making a beat on the slowest BPM, all these like really
Yeah.
silly
Yeah.
stuff, but it made for really cool content. And he was growing really, really fast as well. And I think when I saw like Pat Ryan, Sharp, Aries, Ramzoid, shout them guys pop up, that's when it kind of hit me as like, oh, there's definitely a niche here. Since I'm not doing nothing with my beats,
Yeah.
I might as well try and do something with YouTube and see what happens. And
Were
that's
you not
kind
trying to
of
sell beats at the time? Were you not posting them on like SoundClick or
nah.
BeatStars or anything?
And I never post. Maybe this is a silly thing for now that I look back on it. I never posted anything. I just kept everything on my hard
Really?
drive. I honestly thought that
Why do you think that was? Do you think it was a confidence thing?
no, it was more just like how can I put this? I feel like my first year, I knew everything was shit. Even if it was good, I knew
Yeah.
like it's not the level that it needs to be at. Let me just give myself a year of no judgment, no nothing, just have fun making beats.
Right.
No end goal. I'm not trying to get a placement here. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to master not even master, but just get better at the craft, innit? So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't put anything out for the first year.
I suppose that puts no pressure on you in a way, because I see a lot of people that start producing and they get stressed out if they're not making sales in the first couple of weeks. But I
Yeah.
suppose if you had the mindset that you had, it's just, you know what, I'm just going to have fun with this. If something happens, it's cool. But
It keeps
if
things
not, I'm
really
learning.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
definitely.
keeps things fun. It keeps things fresh. At the time, I wasn't really like trying to be the guy selling beats or anything like that. I just wanted to make beats. That's all I was trying to do. So that's why I never really put anything out.
Yeah.
But as I said, like as time got on and I was making more and more beats, I felt like I needed to do something.
Right.
There needed to be a next step. They can't just be me making beats all day. Like I need to do something on. Yeah, I guess that's why I kind of did YouTube once I saw like the opportunity was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you, what was I going to say just then? I kind of lost my train of thought then. Yeah. So when you started the YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take before you started getting some good views? Because it can kind of be hurtful, when you put in a few pieces of content out and they're not getting the views that you expect, and then
Yeah.
part of you thinks, you know what, this isn't like, I know personally when I started it, because I'm not the type of guy that really likes being in camera. I'm not that confident. I'm not like a big open speaker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it can kind of hurt your pride when you put stuff out and it doesn't get views straight away. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you went through the same process, but how long did it take until you started getting those kind of views?
Man, it took me a long time. Well, in hindsight, it's probably not a long time, but during those times, it felt like forever, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe I never started gaining good traction to about a year in. It took me a year and a half, maybe just under a year and a half, to get 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
But that was a slow grind, and I was uploading consistently, like 3-4 times a week, sometimes
Really?
5 days a week, sometimes every day. I put out so much videos, and as
So
I
you,
said,
so you
like
got
it
like
felt
10,000 in the first year, did you say?
a bit more, maybe like a year and a half,
Yeah.
just under a year and a half.
It's still pretty solid though. It's still pretty good to get 10K in a year.
I honestly thought I was growing so slowly. Like, okay, this is the worst thing to do, and I wouldn't suggest this to anyone. But I would look at guys like Kyle Beats and Simon Zavida, and I'd see them growing like so fast, and I'm like, damn, am I beat shit? Like, what's going on? How comes I'm not growing? But now I look back and I know that the quality wasn't there, man. Like, the video, sometimes the audio was messed up, or the camera angle was blurry, or but at the same time, I just didn't care. I would just put out anything.
Yeah.
I was just trying to go for quantity, try and drop as many videos, just keep showing in my face. That was just a strategy.
Right.
So of course, like, it wasn't going to grow that much because the quality wasn't there. It kind of has to there has to be like a good balance, I guess, between quality and quantity.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, now I look back and see, a year and a bit more to get 10,000 subscribers. It's really not that bad. That's actually, that's
it is quite good. Not a lot of people can do that, so it is still growth. And that was just you just banging out as much content as possible. Were you focusing on SEO, anything like that?
The only SEO I would say that I focused on was more like, I was trying to do more, I guess, tutorial-based stuff. Things that people would search. So how to do your drums in Logic Pro X, because it's not as straightforward as FL Studio. You have the whole sequence in FL. There wasn't anything like that in Logic. So to someone who's just opened up the door, that's the first thing you're going to be questioning, like, how the hell do I do my drums? So I thought, okay, let me put that in there. People are going to be searching that. So I guess my content was more searchable at the time.
Yeah.
Just to play to the search, but I guess that would be like the SEO strategy. But at the same time, it wasn't like I was optimizing for keywords and doing my research and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't that deep.
Right. Yeah. When I watch you put in your drums, it just seems like a crazy process. Do you have to add? What's the name of the plugin where you add your drums?
Yeah. So I use this plugin called Ultra Beat. It's a Logic Pro.
That's it. Yeah.
It's a Logic Pro stock plugin.
But so do you have to open a new one for every layer of drums, like one for hi-hat?
You don't have to, but that's my preference, because I like to mix every individual one on tracks.
Right.
Rather than just having it all in one track. But now actually Logic does have a sequencer. I'm just too stuck in my ways to change, innit? I like using the Ultra Beat now.
Yeah, I suppose it's what you're used to. If you've used it so many times, anything else just seems a bit alien, and you don't want to have to learn a new thing in a way. If you've already
I'm not gonna lie, that new sequencer is easy to use, but
is it more like FL, the new sequencer? Is it layered?
It's very similar. It's got that kind of, the blocks, and you click the blocks, and then so it's very visual in that way as well, which is good.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing you can just route them to separate mixer channels and just edit everything separately. Yeah.
You use FL, right?
FL, yeah. I've never really tried anything else. I think I tried Ableton once, like years ago, but I used it for vocals. So when I started off as a rapper, and I was I'd use Cubase. I don't know if you've ever used Cubase.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's like, it seems old school now, Cubase. But I used that because that's what the guy at the studio that I was going to was using. So sometimes if I recorded at home, I'd try that. And then I tried Ableton once just because a lot of people were using it in college. So I just tried it out. And then the only other thing that I tried was Reason. Have you ever tried Reason?
I've never touched it, no.
Yeah. Everything else just looked so strange compared to FL. FL just looked more friendly. It looked like it was more welcoming. I could just click in my drums and it just made things easy. So yeah, I just rolled with FL. Never looked back.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, a lot of people have this argument and they say Ableton's better than FL and FL's better than Ableton, or you get a better sound from each one. But I don't think that's true. I think it's just how you use the tool. I think they all create the same sound. I think I actually saw
Yeah.
Decap do a video about it, and he was comparing FL to Ableton and like exporting certain things and running tests, and they literally just sound the same. There's nothing that changes. It's just how you use them.
Yeah, I guess it's just your preference of workflow and how you like to do things, and the one that you're just most used to in the end. Because I mean, as long as you get your workflow down, then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe back in the days, like FL, the drums maybe hit a bit harder than the drums in Logic. But I think now, like, if you know how to put certain plugins in Logic on your drums, then you can get it to the same level, so it don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's just how you use it, isn't it? So going back to YouTube, when you started noticing more views and more subscribers, had you changed anything? Had you changed the way you were recording the angles maybe, or the thumbnails, the tags?
Yeah. So so I want to say I started growing faster from the end of 2018, so the beginning of 2019, and that's when I got a new camera, so my camera quality was a lot better. I was using, in fact, I got a new mic as well, so the audio was good.
Yeah.
And changed up my thumbnails as well. So, bro, like, I basically just done like a whole channel rehaul, and things started growing from there. And maybe it is because I did increase my quality, but at the same time, maybe it's just because I'm a year into it now. I've got a bunch of videos sitting there for people to enjoy, and I'm just being consistent. So it's hard to tell exactly like why. I personally think it's the quality. It made my videos a lot more watchable, but it might not be at the same time, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it could just be accumulation of everything. Like you said,
it could have just been timing.
Exactly, yeah. You've been posting consistently for a long time. You already had some subscribers there anyway, and then once the quality jumps up, it's everything at once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. So how about right now? Do you use anything like SEO tools, or do you use any kind of TubeBuddy, vidIQ? Or you just post?
The only thing I use TubeBuddy for is just to see, I don't know if you've got it, but at the top, it will tell you like how many views you got in 48 hours and how many views you got in an hour.
Right, yeah.
I just use that as a baseline metric, almost like a competition in my head. Like, okay, in the last 48 hours, I got this much. Let's try and beat that. You know, next week, let's have X amount. But that's it. Like, I don't use TubeBuddy for any of the keywords or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, if you're just starting to upload videos, maybe it does help in terms of getting accurate tags. People say, you know, tags are not that important, but maybe in the beginning it does help a little bit, just so you can get some views from the search.
But I guess the algorithm won't really give you a natural boost when you just start, right? Because not many people are subscribed. No one's really seeing the video. So I guess the only way that they're going to find you is by those keywords.
It's just through the tags. Beginning. That's how they're going to figure you out. Yeah. So now when I'm looking at analytics and you see like where your traffic comes from to your videos, most of my traffic is from people seeing my thumbnail on the homepage now.
Oh, really?
So I need to cater more to that, I guess. So that's why, like, I've made the shift mainly in the last year from maybe instead of how to do your drums in blah, blah, blah to I made this beat and it sounds amazing. More like clickbait kind of titles.
Yeah. And you've got the thumbnail there with the arrow and your face. There's always emotion in your face. And from what I've heard, that can be good for thumbnails. You know, if you're smiling or you're shocked or I don't know. I think people are just drawn to some kind of emotion, aren't they? So is that why you do the thumbnails that you're doing now? Yeah,
kind of. Like I looked at like a Mr. Beast or someone like that, and he has, you know, this so over exaggerated smiles and the big red stuff, but that stuff works. Yeah, it definitely helps. So that's why I've kind of like tried to transition into those kind of style thumbnails now.
Yeah, I've tried it in the past because I think when you start a channel, you try so many different things, don't you?
Yeah.
Until something works. And I've tried doing that in the past. I've felt a bit silly when I was doing it, or a bit cheesy, but I've done like what was the one that I did? It was something about like a fire beat, and I've done like a really shocked face, but that didn't perform well as some of the other ones that I've done, where it's just maybe I've done like a Heady One type beat tutorial, and there's just been a picture of Heady One on one side, and then that's performed a lot better than the shocked face one. But then I don't know if that's down to the thumbnail or just the content that's in the video. Sometimes it's hard to monitor, so I was a bit stuck, and I didn't really know where to go with the thumbnails. But I think once you start uploading like a lot of videos, then I guess you don't want to change it too much because people are used to seeing that thumbnail. I think that was my mindset. Once I started using one, I was like, if I change it now completely, then people might not recognize it when it's in the home feed, so they won't click on it.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of that. Like switching the pattern, it can really throw people off.
Yeah.
But I guess at the same time, it's like, you just never know, innit? You just never know until you try stuff.
Right.
And there's almost like, sometimes I get this where I want to play it safe, so I do something that works. But then when you keep doing that, you kind of get into this safe routine and nothing really grows. It's when you kind of do something maybe that you're uncomfortable with, that's where things have grown quite a bit, or something has hit. Like for me, I'll give you an example. Like I did a video with my brother. That's the one that got like 2 million views, but I was very like, I didn't really want to put that video out.
Yeah.
I was editing it. I wasn't having fun editing it. I was just procrastinating. It's like, nah, I don't want to drop this. The audio's shit. The dynamic's not right. Blah, 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 blah.
Is that the one my brother makes a 5 beat or something along them lines? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But then I put it out anyway. And it hit. And that's just something I couldn't plan. I could have never have known until I just took that chance. And so sometimes you just gotta have the guts to just put it off. And if it works, amazing. If it doesn't, you just, all right, move on. Next video. Let's keep going.
I think you're right. I think it is important to take those chances every now and again. You don't have to do it every single video, but like you said, you can get too comfortable sometimes, can't you? And you do need to take a risk.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's crazy, man. So what's that video on now? Like 2 million views past that?
Yeah, like over 2 million now. I think it's over 2 million.
Congratulations, man. I'm guessing that's still the biggest video on the channel.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. I don't even think I've got another video that's hit 1 million.
Really?
So that's the
I wonder what
one.
It was. Do you think it was just the creativity? It was something different?
I can't tell you. I have no idea, because to me, that video is so shit. Like I don't personally like it that much, but that's another thing as well. Like these videos, once I put them out, they're not even for me. They're not about me anymore. It's for the people to enjoy it. It's for people to learn from or be inspired by, or to whatever. Just take something from it. It's not about me. So my opinion don't even matter. That's another reason why it's just like you have to just put everything out.
Right. Yeah, I guess you always got to think about the person on the other end, the person that's actually watching it. Like, is this going to be entertaining? And maybe that was the case with that video, because there's so many tutorials out there which everyone's seen a million times. But then once you do something new, like, all right, my brother's going to step in and make a beat. And is he a producer? Like, does he usually produce, or was that his first time making a beat?
He produced like like as I was saying, like the internet money days when they were online and selling beats and stuff. He tried to do that for maybe like 2 months. Like he wasn't that serious. He had his channel, but probably uploaded like 2 beats and then I'm not on it anymore. Yeah. So yeah, he was kind of like fresh back, just making a beat for the first time in a long time. Yeah. But he's not a producer or anything.
Right. So yeah, maybe it was a combination of that. It was just entertaining for people to watch. And sometimes you see videos just riding the algorithm wave. Like no one knows what the YouTube algorithm actually is, but sometimes it can just get caught in the wave, can't it?
Yeah, like you know how people say, oh, like what's the YouTube algorithm? How do I win on the YouTube algorithm? What do I need to do? Bro, the YouTube algorithm, it's not something that you can game or really work, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I've tried to speak to YouTube people who work at YouTube, and I'm like, what makes it tick? And they're just like, the only thing you need to focus on really is just trying to make the best content you can. And that's so subjective that it doesn't really give you much direction. But at the same time, it's so simple. If you just focus on trying to make the best content that you can do, make it as engaging as possible, then that's just the only way to win, really. All these other things outside of that, they may work, they might, but not really, because you can't really beat the algorithm like that. All you can do is just make the best content you can, and then
Exactly.
YouTube will push that for you.
Yeah, and that's free promotion as well from them. Because if you think about it from YouTube's end, what they're looking for is for people to stay on YouTube as long as possible, so that they can get more ads in there, so that businesses can buy ads. So that's like the main thing. If you can get someone to enjoy your video, I don't know if liking and commenting helps. Maybe it shows YouTube that they're actually enjoying it. But say, for example, if someone watches, to me, it seems like watch time is very important, because if someone watches your video all the way through, they must have enjoyed it. If they don't, then they just click off after a minute. So I think that's the key, just creating good content that people are going to enjoy, and just think about, well, would I keep watching this? You know what I mean? Like if I didn't see the video, if I was watching it, would I get bored, or would I keep watching it?
Yeah, exactly. How long have you been doing YouTube for?
Bro, not long at all. Not even a year. Not even a year.
Yeah.
I'll have to check when I uploaded my first video, but it might have been like 10 months ago. Yeah, so it's been quite quick in terms of growth. I didn't really expect it. It was just one of those things where I was working full time before this, and I was in that job for 5 years, and I'd always done music on the side. But in the past, I was focused on rapping when I was younger. That was my main thing. I had boys that produced, and I'd tried producing sometimes, but rapping was the main thing. I just always knew that I wanted to do something in music. I just had this love for music. It was the only thing I wanted to talk about. Like it was just everything to me. And then it was the same thing that you said, you know, when you said that your parents were a bit like, nah, music isn't serious, you need to focus on your career. It was the same story for me when I was growing up. When I was in school, college, everyone always said, no, you need to go to uni, you need to get a job, you need to get a 9 to 5, you need security, you need a house. Same story, which I think every parent just tells their children that. I think they don't like risks. They don't want to see their kids taking risks. They just want to know that the kid's going to be safe, they're earning money, they're fine. So that was the path that I followed. I got into a job straight after uni, stayed in it for 5 years, and it was a good job. Some people there loved it, that the money was good and everything, but it was just really getting to me, the fact that I wasn't doing music. And I started seeing people on YouTube and started seeing people making money online. And I always doubted myself before. I always thought, nah, it could never happen to me. These guys are just lucky or whatever. But yeah, it just got to a certain point where I was like, do you know what? I just need to take a risk, because if I don't do it, I'm going to grow old. I'm going to look back on life and just regret not at least trying. So I had money there. Like I was saving up to get a house. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just keep this money there. I'm just going to quit my job, just go all in. I didn't even have like a big plan or anything. I thought I've just taken a risk. It was kind of a stupid move, really. Well, not looking back, but at the time, people might have thought it was a stupid move. The amount of people that told me to stay in my job and don't do it, I'm like making a mistake and all of this. But anyway, I just took the plunge, just left the job and just went all out. So I was just trying everything at the start. I was trying them Instagram videos, you know, where you're just kind of making a beat and you playing the beat, but you're just smashing the drum pads or whatever. I'm sure we've all done them, right? Every producer's done them. So I was trying that. I was just trying all social media platforms. It took me a little bit longer to get on YouTube, because I think it was a confidence thing. Like I said earlier, I'm not really the type of guy that likes speaking on camera. I don't like showing my face all the time. But I was just seeing, and from doing research, I was just seeing how important content is now and how important it is to actually get your face in there. Because producers for a long time were always behind the scenes, weren't they? But I feel like the whole industry's shifted now, and producers more than ever have to get their face in front of cameras. They have to almost be the artist.
They're basically like the star now.
Exactly, yeah. So once I learned that, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to have to do it. So I just started putting out some YouTube videos just once a week at the start. And then I thought I need to up it a bit. So I started doing 2 a week. And then the subscribers were coming in like quite quick compared to what my actual beat channel was doing. Because I have a type beat channel as well, where I just do obviously type beats. But the tutorial channel was growing at a quicker rate. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to focus a bit more on YouTube, try and get the content a bit better. So started like, I got a better camera, a better mic and everything. And that was it really. I was just putting out consistent content. I was focusing heavily on SEO at the start, because I thought that was the only way, if you know what I mean. I thought people don't know my channel, so I need to use SEO tools. So I was using TubeBuddy and vidIQ. So I think they helped a little bit. So I think, like we said earlier, I think for people starting out, you could focus on a bit of SEO. It's not everything. Obviously, the quality of the content is more important, but people do need to find your video in the first place. So yeah, I was using SEO tools for a bit, and then one of the videos started popping off, and it got like over 100,000 views. And then from that one video, that's when all the subscribers started coming in, and then they started paying attention to my other videos. But just to give you an example, and just to give everyone an example of how SEO can't be everything. So for all of my videos that I was posting at the start, I was doing just like how to do this, like how to make your kicks hit hard. I was just looking at what people were searching for. And then one day I was just like, you know, I just want to switch it up a little bit. Let me just try something different. And then I did, I wanted to make like a Japanese influenced drill beat, because I love kotos, you know, like the instrument, the koto. I was seeing people on, like, I follow this guy on Instagram who just plays the koto every day, and they just sound quite dark and quite sick. So I thought, let me try and make something like this. I'll just turn the camera on. So I made a Japanese influenced drill beat, and then instead of looking at SEO tools, I'm just going to put in the title something like, I made a Japanese influenced drill beat, just something that people wouldn't search for. And then that jumped to like 80,000 views, like just quicker than anything else had jumped up. So that was another one that helped the video, the channel. So I think it was them two videos that helped it more than anything. But
see, that's ironic that you put all your effort into SEO, and to the one time you don't, and that one, you know, goes up.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah,
you just never know.
That's right. I think people can get caught up on trying to hack the algorithm and trying to use all these tools to get more subscribers and get more views, but it all just comes down to quality of content. I think I think with those tools as well, because no one has access to YouTube's algorithm and data. So these tools, it will say that a certain like word or group of keywords, like how to make a beat, it will say this is searched 100,000 times a month, but they don't actually have access to YouTube's data to figure that out. So what I think they do is some kind of calculation where maybe they see how many videos pop up after that search term, and then they calculate something based on the views and the amount of videos. Because, for example, at one point I typed in my own name just to see how many people were searching my name, and it said J Cactus tutorials, 100,000 people are searching this a month. I'm like, there's no chance. If 100,000 people were searching my name a month, I'd be on millions of subscribers right now. So I don't even think the data is 100% accurate. I think they just have their own algorithms and calculations to work out like maybe an average of what people are searching for, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I've never really, in the beginning, I used to use those tools kind of heavily, just to, like, you know, when you put in the tags and it gives you the suggestions.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess, you know what, for maybe type beat channels, I think that could be useful when you've run out of ideas of what else could you name this kind of type beat. It might give you like some more combinations and stuff.
Right.
But I don't really know like how key that is for channels to grow. Right.
Do you have a type beat channel? Have you ever tried that?
No, I did start doing type beats on that channel. Just throwing them up amongst my tutorials and my normal videos for a while. Yeah. But it didn't make sense for me, because most people who are watching my videos were producers, and they're not going to buy beats. Right. And so it was just, there was no point, basically. Yeah. I wasn't speaking to rappers, so I'm not going to bother trying like keep pushing this.
Yeah. I guess it's hard because it is two different businesses, really. Like doing the tutorials is focused on producers, and then doing beats and type beats is focusing on rappers. So if you try and balance the two
different people.
Exactly, yeah. So it can get a lot when you're trying to manage both sides. Because a lot of people say, you know, when you try to be the jack of all trades in a way, you kind of fail at everything. But if you just focus on one thing that you know is going well, then that's going to grow at a much quicker rate if you put in all of your energy into one thing.
Do you still do the type beat channel and sell beats?
Yeah, I do. The beat channel isn't growing as quick as the tutorial channel. It's still quite slow. I'm just about to hit my first 1,000 on the beat channel, which is slow, man. So I was always trying to figure out how to grow that channel as well. So I was listening to Producer Grind podcasts, trying to listen to like Ant Chamberlain, like TNT, them kind of man. And what I heard from them was they all say the same thing. I've heard like 5 different YouTubers say the same thing with type beat channels, and they all say stick to one lane. So don't be doing like loads of different genres like pop one day and then EDM and then hip hop, you know what I mean? So stick to one lane and stick to one artist or 2 artists max. So instead of doing like Drake type beat one day and then Jay-Z type beat the other day and then like Migos type beat the next day, just stick to one artist.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they've all said the same thing, and they all say that once you put up every single video with the same tags and the same title, and like the same artist, everything, then after a while, like YouTube kind of picks up your channel as the go-to channel for that keyword, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've been trying that. I thought I'll just test it because I always want to test things out myself just to see if it works before I start preaching it. So I was looking for an artist that maybe people were searching for, but there wasn't loads of competition.
Yeah.
And at the time, my tutorial channel was doing well with drill tutorials, and obviously drill was just popping off anyway. So I thought, all right, let me just, for a little bit, I'll stick to one lane. I'll just upload drill beats. I'll still produce other genres, but I'll just upload my drill beats and I'll find an artist. So I started doing Dutchavelli type beats because I think he put out, it was either Shirley or another track. I don't know if you know the one, but it took off. It got like, was getting millions of views pretty quick.
His first one.
Yeah. That one that was taken off. So I thought, right, I'll go with him because I had a feeling that he was going to be up next in the UK. I'll just roll with him for a bit. Maybe not everyone's searching for him right now, but the more that he grows, more people will be searching for him. And hopefully not everyone was doing those type of beats. So that's why I picked him. And to be fair, like since I've stuck to that, since I've just been uploading Dutchavelli type beats, and my schedule is every other day at 7 p.m. I'll upload a beat. So I'm not doing every day. But yeah, every other day at 7 p.m. I'll do that. It's a Dutchavelli type beat, the same kind of description, the same tags, everything. And it has been growing a lot quicker than what it was. But I don't know if that's because people are finding me on the tutorial channel and then going to that, or if it's the keywords or what. So I just don't know. It's hard to figure out. So I'm not really sure which direction to take with it because I don't like being stuck in a box where I'm just the drill beat guy, because I make a lot of like boom bap beats, trap beats, and I feel like they're just going to waste because I'm not uploading them to the channel. I'm just focusing on drill, and you get stuck in a box in a way, don't you?
Yeah. I guess that's the give and take when you do specialize and become that go-to person for a particular sound.
Yeah. I feel like you've got a good balance on your channel though, because you'll do drill beats one day, then trap. You've done Afro beats. I feel like you've got a good variety.
Yeah, I think that's just who I am, innit? Like I like to be versatile. Like today, I don't know, I might be in more of a trap mood, but tomorrow I might wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm really inspired by reggaeton. I just want to make reggaeton beats today, and I'll do that. And you know, it might piss people off. It might not. I don't really care at this point. Like I just like to do what I feel like doing. And it's funny as well though, because like I don't know if you get this, but I get this a lot. Like I put up a drill beat, and then in the comments it'd be like, "Oh, start making drill beats. Try something new. You always make drill beats."
Yeah.
Then the next video I'll do trap, and it's like, "Oh, do another drill beat, man. Like, why are you not doing drill?" It's like you can never satisfy everyone, innit?
No, you can't please everyone. I've definitely seen something like that. Like every now and again, I'll try something new. And you do get them people that just like to watch your content. They just enjoy you as a person and they'll watch whatever you put out. But then you do get the other people that are just there for one reason. Maybe they just want to learn about drill beats. And then when you upload a trap one or a like UK rap one, they're not interested. So it is hard to get that balance and to please everyone. But I feel like with your channel, you've probably grown it to a point where people just like your content regardless, the way that you edit the videos you've done. I feel like you've definitely got a good balance of vlogging and making beats in a way. You know, the way you do your introductions and maybe the shots of you pouring a coffee or just walking into the studio with the guitar. So I feel like maybe people just like watching your content because of you. And
that's the goal. I think when it comes to the YouTube, the longevity is when people come for you and not just the content you make, if that makes sense. Like the
Right.
topic that you talk about. Like if they come to you, then you can be on YouTube and you can pivot in so many different ways and still do well. Like if you look at Logan Paul, he started with just like being silly and being goofy, then to going into boxing, then going into podcasting, but he still had this huge fan base follow him on that entire journey, and that's how like he's still relevant to today.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I aspire to do with my channel. Like I'm always going to do music. I'm always going to be making beats and songs and this kind of stuff. But maybe one day I just want to talk about, I don't know, I just bought a puppy. Let's talk about my puppy for 10 minutes and people still be interested.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of the goal that I want to get to. And also that's how I consume YouTube as well. Like,
right.
I do watch a lot of fitness YouTubers, and in the beginning I was watching fitness YouTubers just because I really enjoyed their content, not necessarily because they were going gym and they were teaching me how to do a bench press or, you know, these things. I was just enjoying like their drone shots and how they speak to their audience.
Right.
But now like it's actually put me onto that fitness journey, and if I can do something like that with music production, maybe you watch it and you're not really interested in music production, but you've seen enough of my videos to have an understanding and maybe even try it. And, you know, that's something that I like, that I would like to do for sure.
Yeah. And that's how you're going to get a wider audience as well. Because like you said, you're not just going to have the people that are coming to learn something in music. They just come in because they enjoy watching the videos. So that's going to
there's
appeal
only
to
so
much.
many. Sorry, man. I just want to say that there's only so many music producers on earth that you can reach. There's going to be a ceiling at some point. So that's when you kind of need to reach the person who might be on the fence, or reach someone who's not really interested in music production, but just still bring them into your world. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's what you're trying to do now? Are you slowly transitioning into that?
Yeah, slowly.
What do you do to test it? Do you just put in like maybe like an extra 30 seconds of you talking, or?
Yeah, like let's say these last couple of months, I haven't even done that much. I just been sprinkling maybe in a bit of my life and what's going on, just because like it's something to talk about. I want to share more of my life with people.
Yeah.
But as I'm moving into this next chapter of YouTube and this kind of the content and stuff, I do want to start moving way more into vlogging and making beats and all that kind of stuff, but not just my whole video is a tutorial or just making a beat. I want it to be more fluid, more just enjoyable, more watchable. I don't know how to explain. Like,
yeah, I guess Kyle Beatz is maybe a good example for that.
Yeah,
like he's
Kyle
got
Beatz is the best person to model, I think, when it comes to that, because he does like I don't even know if he shows like the screen catcher that much anymore. Like he doesn't really break down his beats. He's just, he's living his life in Cali, got the pool, he's making coffee every morning, working out. I love that. Like that's something that inspires me. I really want to do stuff like that. Someone like Ed Talenti does it really well. Shout out Ed, shout out Sicky Beats. These guys are doing really well where they're merging the two, and that's the point that I want to get to. I haven't done it fully yet. But it's a work in progress for sure.
Definitely. I was listening to Ed on a podcast recently with Gabe, like the MIDI Money team and everything. So shout out to them. They're always dropping gems. But Ed was talking about that, and he was saying the key for him has been to do little things that people will recognize you for. So, for example, in the Kyle Beatz videos, pretty much every video he's filming himself making a coffee, isn't he? And that's his thing. Like everyone remembers that he's like making a coffee. So I think Ed has said something similar because he does the coffee thing. Like he loves coffee. Maybe because he's outside in Italy, it's just something different. You just want something that people are going to remember you by in a way. So I don't know, maybe it's just something that you're interested in, something that you usually do on a daily basis. Could be anything. It could be like a certain type of cereal that you eat every day. Like maybe you love the Weetabix with chocolate chips in them, and in every video you're talking about that again, and then people just, it's just, I don't know, it's entertaining, and I guess it makes people remember you for that thing, doesn't it? Even though it seems so simple. Yeah,
it definitely gives that more personal touch to it, Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like we're human, innit? Like I'm living my life, you're living your life.
Right.
You know, you're gonna connect. I want to connect with you on some point. If we have something in common, then like we might as well show it.
Yeah, 100%. So, do you do anything else in terms of marketing? Do you do like email marketing for videos, or is it
Not for videos. Like if I have a new drum kit drop in or
right?
some sort of product, then you know I'll hit up my email list. I know I should be emailing a lot more.
Yeah,
Honestly, like I feel like I should be doing a lot more when it comes to the marketing,
right.
but I don't. And it's not good. It's not good, but I should be like emailing a lot more, you know, maybe
Yeah,
posting a lot more on Instagram. There's more that I can do. At the same time, not that this is an excuse, but I'm kind of just doing everything by myself.
yeah.
And I'm still trying to find the perfect balance between the business and also working on my craft at the same time, because that's a never ending thing.
Of course, and that's what it all comes down to at the end, isn't it? It's your music that needs to be on point. More than anything, really, the product has to be there. Because
Yeah.
I did want to study the business side of it because I put myself in a position where I needed money because I left my job. I was like, I've always loved music. I never just did it expecting money, but I wanted to be happy more than anything. I always wanted to work for myself. I always wanted to be in a
Hmm.
position where I can make music and just make a living off it. I wasn't bothered about becoming rich. I just wanted to know that I never had to answer to anyone. I could just be happy in what I'm doing. That was the main thing for me when it got to that point.
Hmm.
So I had no choice but to study the business side because I was like, if I want to work for myself and make a living off music, I need to study the business side to it. So I
Yeah.
have been doing a lot of email marketing, trying out different things. Like I've got my Shopify set up with drum kits and everything.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm sure you get this as well. But the more time that you spend on other areas of the business, like the more time you look at the marketing and the business side, the less time you have making music. So some days
Yeah.
I might be
100%.
doing email campaigns and then editing videos, sorting out something on my website. And then it's almost been a full day and I'm like, I haven't even made a beat today. So
Yeah.
it's hard to
Sometimes that's
balance
just
that.
how it. Sometimes it's just how it goes. Like some
Yeah,
days you just have to sit down and you have to sort out all that kind of, you know, the Shopify, the emails, and all that kind of stuff.
right.
But I don't know if personally for me, I want to get to a stage where the music just speaks for itself, innit?
Yeah,
Like the music is so good, it's undeniable. So that's where like finding that balance is so important. Where
yeah,
you do work on your, you know, work on making your beats or making a sample or whatever it may be to improve. And then once you have that side sorted, once you put the business on top of that, you
right.
know, it's a perfect match.
Mm,
Whereas, you know, if your music ain't there and you put all the business behind it, it will get you to a certain point and you will make money,
yeah,
but it might not live up to its full potential if you haven't got that first foundation of music, if that makes sense.
yeah, 100%. It all comes down to just being the product has to be on point at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can do as much marketing as you want, but if the product's not there, then
Do
there's
you
only
run
so much
ads
you
and
can do.
stuff like that?
I haven't yet. I have been looking into it. I was having an issue with my Facebook ads account and I was struggling to connect it to Shopify. I don't know what the issue was, but
Mm.
they've only just fixed it. They couldn't even tell me what the issue was. So I do want to try them. Um, I just wanted to research it first. I didn't want to just press some buttons and pay for the sake of it. I wanted to know what I was doing with them.
Yeah.
So I think the ones that I'm going to try are definitely maybe just the ones where people have already seen the products, they already know about me, and I'm just retargeting them. I think
Hmm.
they might be a safe one to do rather than going for new people. I think with what I've learned about ads is you can't really expect to make money just from running an ad. I think what you need to try and do is like for people that if you're trying to reach people that don't really know about you, I think the key is to maybe offer something for free. Maybe it's a drum kit or whatever. Put out a free drum kit and run some ads to collect people's emails with those free kits rather than just trying to sell something. Because if you try and sell something and people have never even heard of you, that they're not likely to buy your drum kit, if that makes sense. But if you can
Mm.
put something in place where you offer something for free, maybe it's a mini drum kit, and then you have everything set up on the back end, like email marketing. So let's say you gather people's emails, but then you have an automated system set up where you can send people emails over the next 5 days automatically. And then by the fifth email, maybe you're asking them to buy the full version then, but in the previous emails, you might well just want to keep adding value. They've got the free kit in the next few emails, maybe send them, I don't know, maybe some just bits of advice, maybe some more free sounds, maybe direct them to some tutorials where they can, anything that you can bring, anything that you can give value to, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then maybe by that last email, you can try and sell something then. So I think for people that don't have an audience, that would be a gem for them to actually pay for ads to try and collect people's data in a way. But then for people that already do have the audience, I think retargeting ads would be the one, because then people already know about your brand. So maybe at that point, you can try and get a sale through an ad because people have already seen the product. They already know you. If any of that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you tried running ads?
I tried it before I was selling like a bundle pack.
Right.
And it works, but I cut that one short just because, I don't know, I just didn't, how can I put this? I didn't want to keep selling that bundle.
Right.
So I just cut it short. But that's something that I'm definitely going to be doing more of in the future. I got something nice dropping really soon. And I definitely want to put some ads behind that.
On that yet.
Just know it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be good. It's the biggest thing that I've put out so far, and I'm proud of this one. It's gonna be a nice bundle. I'll send it to you once it's ready as well.
I appreciate that, man. That's exciting times. So when you were running them previous ads, were you doing lookalike campaigns, or were you just like targeting anyone?
I had lookalike campaigns. I had, targeting my email list, targeting cold audiences. And like some worked until it didn't work. Some didn't make money. Right. Some broke even. All in all, it was profitable. I just didn't want to continue that bundle and keep going down that route. And actually, before I even sold that bundle, I did try, the whole selling beats to rappers, but as a bundle.
Right.
And that didn't work for me at all.
What method were you using? Is that like the ClickFunnels method, or something else?
ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
But also, I realized very quickly that I didn't want to deal with rappers.
Right.
I didn't want to have that. I didn't want to continue building that audience and dealing with them, because it was a lot of headache for me personally anyway. And I just I wasn't in it. Yeah.
Especially when you were spending so much time dealing with producers. So the more time you spend with rappers, you're kind of taking time away from the YouTube channel and dealing with that side of the business.
Exactly. And ultimately, like, if I think about my long-term goal, that was never a part of it. Like, I wasn't trying to sell beats online, so it didn't make sense anyway.
Right. I think with marketing as well, it's one of them things that you have to get good at it as well. You can't just run an ad and expect to get money. You have to try different things and expect to lose a bit of money at the start, because it's same with anything. Same with YouTube. You have to put the videos out. Some of them work, some of them don't, and then you learn from it. I figure that's going to be the same with marketing. You try little things. If it's not working, maybe you change the subject of an email. Maybe you change the color of a download button in your email. Just little things until you start seeing the figures increase, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I saw in one of your videos that you just got a studio. Is that in London?
Yeah. So
congrats on that, man. Cheers,
man. I got to, I don't know. This might sound really weird, but every time like I get to a certain point, I always have this feeling where it's like, what's next? What step do I need to take next? I get tired of things really quickly. I get bored of things really quickly, and I think being in lockdown this year as well, as I was saying before, like, I've just been stuck in this room for ages and I needed a change. I was watching the Gummy Beatz live stream, and he was, or like the replay on YouTube, and he was saying like once he got a studio, things really started to open up for him. Not only like did he feel more productive in having a place just to work and switch off from working, he could go home and chill. Then his output increased. He was able to work with artists. And that just really resonated with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it extremely hard to split that balance because I work from home. And when I'm chilling, I'm like, shit, I should be working. And when I'm working,
tell me about
like, sometimes it's not even productive. It's just I'm working for the sake of working. So
You
That was
almost
one
feel guilty,
reason.
don't you? If you're in your,
Yeah, man.
because you work from home, if you're not, like, say, for example, I think I heard you say it on another podcast, like when you're watching Netflix, for example, you feel guilty because you're not working. You feel like you constantly
Yeah,
should be working, but you should deserve a
yeah,
bit of
man.
chill time at the end. Like, really, shouldn't you?
Exactly. You can't. I mean, some people might be able to, but I
Yeah.
can't work 24/7. You know, I
Mm,
need to switch it up a little bit. So I thought that
yeah.
that was one reason, and then the second reason, you know, I really want to start working with artists and getting placements and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring people to my house like all the time in it. So it's
Yeah.
like, let's get the studio, let's do it a professional way. And I was always planning to move back to London anyway, really soon. I started looking online at places. I found one in like a great location. It was just perfect timing. Great location, good price. Had to snap it up as soon as I saw it. And
Yeah.
it's in the process of being built now. Like I've only got to bring in a desk, moving back next week. And, you know, touch wood, from next week, I'm going to be working from there.
Oh, that's sick. That's come around quick then, hasn't it? Have you
Yeah,
done everything
man.
in the spot yourself? Like all the
No,
decorating,
so
or
I painted it, but then I got like family friend to lay down the flooring, put up the panels for me. Because
right?
most of my time is still like in Manchester at the moment.
Yeah.
But I my dad has kind of taken on the role as like project manager, and he's
Right.
just been like organizing bits and pieces, getting in this person, getting in that person. So he's been a really big help in just like getting that set up
It's
in
good to
London
have that
for me.
support there.
Yeah, man, I'm really grateful for that. So it's almost ready. It's almost ready. I can't wait to move in there,
Yeah.
man.
I guess it will make you more productive, and it is going to make you enjoy home time more, because you can just leave work at work then, can't you? You're going to come
Yeah,
home and be
yeah.
like, right, this is an environment where I can relax. I've earned this relaxation time. And then as soon as you step back into the studio, it's right. All right, it's okay. It's the mindset where you're working now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that'll be good. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It just gives you like a different kind of fire now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Man, that's
yeah.
exciting times. Congratulations on that, bro. That's a big
Cheers,
move.
man.
So you're moving from Manchester. Just, are you going to move quite close to the studio, or is it going to be a bit of travel time to get there?
Not really, like 10-15 minutes by train. So
Yeah,
not
that's all
even
right.
that far. Like it's not too bad. I could probably even walk in like 40 minutes. So I don't
Yeah,
mind.
maybe summertime we can walk it, and then as soon as winter hits, jump straight
Oh,
back on that train.
trust me.
What made you move to Manchester anyway? Was it just a change of scenery?
So before living in Manchester, I was living in Spain
Right.
for quite a while. And that feeling again where I'm like, I need to switch it
Next
up.
thing.
Spain's been great to me. I love it here.
What made you move
But
to Spain as well, before we talk about Manchester?
yeah, sure. So two reasons. One, my ex-girlfriend was Spanish, and she, you know, I kind of wanted to find out more about Spanish culture and the
Right.
language and that kind of thing. And then just lifestyle, innit? Like the
Yeah.
weather's usually good there. You know, people are outside and more social, enjoying life. So I
Mm,
just wanted to experience something different. So I moved to Spain with her, and then yeah, it got to that point where it's like, all right, I love my time here. Next
yeah.
step, I feel like if I want to start getting placements and working with artists, I probably should be in England because I want to be
Right.
in the UK music scene. So it's time to go back.
I
And
guess the Spanish
initially,
hip hop scene isn't too big, or
it's getting
not that
bigger.
I'm aware of.
It's definitely like a scene, but it's not like the UK. It's a
Right.
lot smaller. Maybe in reggaeton it's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hip hop scene is still, to me, kind of undergroundish.
Right.
And I wanted to work more in the UK scene. I wanted to do drill and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I wanted to move back to the UK. I wanted to move back to London in the beginning. So this was like around January time. But as I was looking at prices, you know, I'd be going around to
Oh,
see
geez. London
places,
prices
and
are no joke.
rent prices was ridiculous for what you was getting.
Yeah.
I was confused. Like, what? You're getting like a shithole for so much money.
Yeah.
What's the point? And then one of my friends, he's from Manchester, is like, he was kind of saying like, you know, it's not that bad up here. There's a small scene. It's very affordable to live. I'd come to see him once before.
Right.
And I liked the vibe of Manchester. So I thought, you know what, let me try Northern life. I've never spent time in Manchester.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. And it's been good.
I feel like it's
I
good
like
for
it.
London. Seems really busy. Everyone's got their head down, doesn't want to speak to anyone. I think it seems like if you want a busy city lifestyle, but you don't want it too crazy, then I feel like Manchester's a good balance because it obviously is a big city. There's a lot to do, but at the same time, it's not overly crowded like London is.
Nah, it's. I feel like Manchester's a lot more chill, but but I feel like it's such an underrated city because I don't know. It just has the character. It has so much character to it.
Definitely.
It feels like Manchester should definitely be like seen as like a bigger hub than it really is. You know, when I'm speaking to people from London and I'm like, oh yeah, I live in Manchester, and people are like, Manchester, what's that like? Is it like Coronation Street? Is there things happening? Like, no, Manchester's actually a really nice city. They have a city centre. I tell you what, when my mum first come to see me in Manchester, I took her around like the Arndale and all that kind of area, which is like the Manchester city centre. And she was shocked. She was like, what? I didn't think Manchester would have this. Like, I thought it was just going to be houses upon houses. And
really?
I'm like, no, it's a city. Like,
it's a city, isn't it?
they of course, they got big buildings and stuff. But
yeah,
man, Manchester is a good city. And it's really affordable to live as well. So
yeah, especially compared to London.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm definitely, my rent is more in London for a way smaller place.
Really?
Yeah.
But at least you don't need the extra room to set up a studio at home now because you've got the studio as well. Yeah,
and in London, I mean, the price you pay for rent, it really is just because, you know, you're really paying for that experience to be in the city, to be in, you know, to be in London. So it is what it is, but, you know, I'm grateful that I'm able to finally make that move back there now and, you know.
Yeah. I guess there's no place like home as well. You've probably got a lot of friends and family back there as well, don't you, in London? So
yeah, everyone's there. I'm the only person that's like up north, really.
Yeah. Do you think lockdown has made you like want that more? Because right now we can't really see anyone or do anything. Do you think it's made you want to be back home a bit more so you can be close to people?
Kind of.
It's more like, music based, isn't it, really?
I'm not gonna lie, like for sure, definitely more like music or career, whatever you want to call it, driven.
Yeah.
But
it'll just be an added bonus, right? If you want to see people and not too far away.
Yeah, like all my family's there, so it's nice to know that I can just, you know, hop in a car, quick 10 minutes, I'm home in it.
Yeah. So at the studio, are you going to be running recording sessions, or is it mainly just to do what you're doing now, but then bring people in if they want to come in or if you want to work with someone?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like the second one where, you know, it's going to be where I do all my content and all that kind of stuff. But also like I do want to work with artists. So whenever I want to work with someone, you know, come through, I've got the space, let's record, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I'm going to run it as an actual like recording studio where people pay for sessions and stuff.
Yeah. I guess you become more of an engineer then, don't you, when you start doing that?
Yeah. And I don't want to, this is going to sound so bad, but I don't want to just work with anyone, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I want to work with people who I want to work with, like who inspire me or who I really enjoy their music or whatever. Someone I feel like I can create a good vibe with, not just like any random person who has money.
Of course,
just to keep things fun and enjoyable. So it's probably going to be more like that.
Yeah, the vibe needs to be there 100%. Even if they're a good artist, like if the vibe's not there, then sometimes you don't come out with a good piece of music because you're not really bouncing off of each other. If that makes sense. The vibe needs to be there 100%. Mm-hmm. Have you got anyone in mind?
Oh, go ahead. What you saying?
Sorry, I was just going to say, have you got anyone in mind that you want to work with that you're going to try and get to the studio? Have you got anyone lined up? Or?
Everyone. I'm trying to get everyone in there. But no, I got like my guys who I work with. Shout out Lats. We're going to be doing some stuff together. I got a few more people that I'm going to be bringing in there for sure. I'd love to get, obviously, you know, people who are doing their thing, like a Dutch Valley or whoever. But I got my guys who are up and coming who are going to be coming through, and we're going to be making some music.
Yeah, that's sick, man.
Do you work from home at the moment?
Yeah, I work from home. It's just me and my girl that live here at the moment. We just did. You can't really see this place that I'm in now. I don't know if is my camera still on. I know you said it went off. All right.
No, it's on now.
Yeah,
I can see the cactus in the background.
I just had to put that up first. Yeah, I'll have to because I've got it on a tripod and everything. I'll have to show you the setup. But yeah, I was in a different room, but then I've just moved into this one. We set this up as like a main studio. So it feels good now. Me and my girl like decorated everything, put everything up. So we've got like panels on the wall. I've got my piano behind me. And then originally, see that chair in the corner? I was going to set that up as the podcast corner and get like some neon lights on there. Maybe just some pictures and stuff. But because I'm using a PC at the moment, I needed my camera and everything to be connected to it over here. So it wasn't working if I was going to stretch everything over there. But yeah, I'm just working from home. I've got a nice little setup here right now. I've just invested in myself a bit, just like bought the right things that I needed to do my job. So yeah, man, I can't complain. I'm loving it right now. Yeah, I've always had like little small spaces in the corner before, little, you know how it is in the past. So yeah, it actually feels like this is a good working environment for me now. And then when I step out of this room, like sometimes I can relax, but I've always got that thing in my head that I'm still in the same building. I think that's just how I think anyway. I don't know if it would change that much if I stepped outside to work, because when it's your own business, you kind of, you're always thinking about it constantly. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm that way as well. I think about like music and ideas 24/7.
Right.
Especially at night. It's hard for me to fall asleep these days, because I'm just like always thinking, writing shit down, just remember for the next day.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing to my girl the other night, because she's the type of person that will just switch off straight away. As soon as we get into bed, if she wants to sleep, she'll just sleep. And then we wake up, I'm like, it took me a long time to get to sleep. She's always saying like, why? I don't get it. Why can't you just switch off? But I think it is that thing. I'm constantly thinking of something. If I get an idea, I'll grab my phone and write it in notes. Maybe I'll be listening to other podcasts. I tried that. I tried to put on podcasts to help me fall asleep, just to see if it works. But I end up just listening to the podcast and just soaking up all the information. I'm like, the podcast has been 2 hours. I've just listened to the full thing. I'm not even asleep yet. So it is tough to balance. So anything new lined up for you then? I know you said you're working on something new that you can't drop much about.
So I'm moving out, I'm moving out next week, hopefully in the studio next week as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like a big change. And next week, this new thing, I'm not going to say it yet, but should be dropping next week.
Okay.
As well. So next week is going to be like the big week for me if things go to plan.
Oh, sick. Perfect.
But yeah, man, just looking forward to the next chapter of this whole journey, man.
Nice. Always, I'm just thinking of the next thing, right? Just where you can, like the next level that you can take everything to, which is good. It's good, man. It's all positive.
You got anything lined up?
Right now, no. I've just dropped a new drum kit recently, which is one that I was working on for a while. Because I was getting into sound design quite a bit. And like, to be honest, like drum kit sales or sample pack sales have been like 90% of my business. Like that's where the income is coming from. So I do want to spend a bit more time on that and make sure that like everything that I put out is just sick quality. So I wanted to do things that are quite bigger than what other people have done. Like sometimes I'll see people that put out a sample pack and it's always the same. There's always like 10 kicks, 10 snares, 10 everything. There always seems to be this thing where everyone's got the same size drum kits. Then when I released this one, I thought, let me double that. So I'll put out 20 of everything, but I won't make it double the price. I'll just make it a little bit more than the previous one. And that worked really well. Like that drum kit was a big success. So that's been huge for me recently. So I think the next thing that I want to do something similar where it's at a big scale. So if I do a sample pack, like a loop kit, it's not just 20 loops. I want to do maybe 60 loops or I don't know, just something big. So I think that's the next thing for me, just working on next couple of packs, probably a loop kit. And other than that, just working with artists as well. I've had a few singles drop recently. I've been working with a team there's this little team called Mazamotion. They've got a few artists under them. And one of the artists, MB, we just put out some work. We've been getting some radio play with that single, so that's been going quite well. And then the other artist, which I'll give you more information about soon. I'll tell you after the call or something. I'm not supposed to say anything. But it's an artist that's just been signed to Sony, a female artist, and she's doing quite well. So me and her have got some singles dropping in the new year, but they just have to be approved by Sony. So I've produced them. The tracks are done. They're recorded. They mixed everything, but they have to go through that final stage where the label says, yeah, we can put this out. So I'll be excited if them ones drop, because that'll be the first artist that I've worked with that's under a label, if you get me. So yeah, I think that's the thing for me. I think I definitely want to work with more artists and get more music out there, and then just continue to grow the YouTube channels. I do want the beat side to grow a bit more than it has been growing. But at the same time, because the tutorial channel is doing well, I don't want to not put energy into that, because that's what's allowing me to do what I love doing. So
yeah, I feel you.
It's just trying to balance everything, I guess. Let's talk about some mistakes that you might see new producers making. So let's say new producers come onto the scene. I'm sure you get a lot of questions, a lot of DMs. Do you see some common mistakes that new producers are making? Maybe it's the way that they market themselves, brand themselves. Maybe it's them being impatient, expecting sales after a week of producing. Do you see any common problems?
Yeah, for sure. I think impatience is a big one.
Yeah.
When people say, I've been producing for like 2-3 months, I haven't made a sale.
Right.
Right, you got to keep going. Like, it's just not your time yet. Sometimes it if you're lucky, maybe it might not even be luck. If you're good enough, maybe it can happen in 2 or 3 months. For most people, 2 or 3 months is a bit premature. You need to give it a couple more months. And in the long scheme of things, a couple more months isn't nothing. If you really love this, it's just a part of your journey. You will get there if you just keep, putting in your time and that.
Yeah.
In terms of beats, like I do a live stream, and you'd be surprised how there's so many out of key 808s, man.
Yeah.
And bro, you could break the rules. There's no rules in music, but out of tune 808s just don't sit right. It doesn't sit right. So before you can send out your beats, I think that you just got to make sure, and again it's subjective, but there is a certain quality level that everyone can agree upon. You just got to be confident your beats are good enough.
Of course, yeah.
They don't have to be absolutely amazing, the best thing you've ever heard, but they just have to be at a certain standard. That's all I've got. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah, 100%. Do you play any instruments? I know you said that you played guitar a little bit and maybe some bass. Because it looks like you can play piano like kind of well, like your chords and your scales and everything when you're making beats.
I'm not like I'm terrible at guitar and bass, because when I stopped playing, I forgot absolutely everything. So I'm literally relearning everything now.
Right.
The piano, like, it's an ongoing thing. I can play some chords. I know my scales, but I'm not like a great piano player. I'm not someone who could just sit there and be like boom, 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 and then have a melody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I'm still learning. And,
are you just learning yourself, like online tutorials or anything, or just literally practicing with chord progressions?
Tutorials, books. With my guitar, though, I do have like a mentor.
Yeah.
Who we have a lesson maybe like every 2 months or so, just to check in. And he's a sick guitarist. Shout out Rory. He's based in Manchester, and he's like basically a professional guitarist. Like, he got in loads of bands and gigs and stuff. So every now and again I'll check in with him, and he'll like help me improve a bit. And then the rest of the time it's just me practicing.
Right.
Just practicing all the time, just so I can get better. And that's something I'll definitely recommend to other producers for sure, man. Because
to play an instrument, learn one.
Or just learn one. It just helps your production. So, like, there's honestly, when it comes to it, the more you learn, the more possibilities there is, or the better understanding you have of something, the more possibilities there is. So if you can just give yourself the opportunity to learn an instrument, learn your music theory. Like, I'm not good at these things yet, but I'm putting in my hours all the time.
Yeah.
Just so, like, maybe 5 years down the line, I can sit at the piano and I can play like a Beethoven and have melodies in minutes.
Yeah.
That's the level that I want to get to in the future. What about you? Do you know any instruments?
I'm kind of the same as you. I took piano lessons for a while when I was working. I took piano lessons for about a year. I wasn't practicing much in between, though. I think that was the mistake that I made the first time I was taking lessons. I wasn't just sitting down and practicing piano. I'd go to it 1 week and then by the next lesson, I'd kind of forgot what I learned the first time. But it helps so much with production, because before I was just clicking in notes. If it sounded good, I'd roll with it, and I just move like that. But as soon as I took the time to at least learn some music theory and understand how scales work and chord progressions, man, that changed everything. It just opened my eyes to so much, and how to create like certain emotions in your track. Like, oh, if I use this scale and this chord progression, it's going to trigger a certain emotion. It just helps with your production all that, like, so much. So I'm the same. I'd highly recommend it. But just recently I've started piano lessons again, because I do want to get to a point where I can just sit down, like you said, and just play something instantly, just come up with a melody. Because right now I do click in my melodies a lot. I'm trying to do it more on keys. I feel like there's no like right or wrong way to do it. Like, if you can make a good melody, you can make a good melody. It doesn't matter if you've played it in or clicked it in. But just as a personal thing, I just want to have that skill where I can sit down and just do it. Especially I'm thinking in the future as well, if maybe I'll go to a studio session, it just shows like a level of professionalism in a way, doesn't it? If you can just sit down straight away and just play a full melody and a chord progression, then it's going to make your beats a lot quicker for a start. And it's just going to help in certain situations if you're around maybe other musicians in a session. Or it's just another skill set to have, isn't it? It's only going to do you good to know something.
For sure. Like, sometimes, like, I pencil in a lot of my melodies still, and I've gotten quite fast at it just because I do it a lot.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, when you play in certain stuff, you stumble across something that maybe you wouldn't have done penciling and stuff in. So it's just basically what it comes down to is just learn as much as you can in it. There's no right or wrong, but just the more you know, the easier it all becomes, the more intentional you can be with it.
Yeah. It's not going to do you any harm by picking up another skill. It's only going to benefit you.
Yeah.
So yeah, facts. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, I had a quick look through your YouTube comments, and it seems like it's all positive. Do you ever get negative comments? And if so, how do you deal with them? Because everyone gets one. There's always that one guy.
I always get hate comments, and it's just like, I don't respond to it. Like, you ain't getting no time from me, and it's not on me. That's you. That's you, innit? That's your problem. Yeah. You're coming here to watch my videos to leave hate. Like, in my opinion, like, you're a loser. You can't, like, I don't know how anybody has. How can you go to someone's video and leave hate?
Yeah,
it's different if you're giving criticism, like something to fix, or maybe you should do this instead, or whatever. But when you're just outwardly hating, like, that's just a weird energy to me that I don't get. So I can't respond to those kind of people, innit?
Yeah,
it just is what it is. And you know what? It's a good thing as well. At least I'm striking some sort of emotion in you.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I've heard people say that it's kind of good. Like, you know, if you've got people that don't like you, it's almost good in a way, because at least you are sparking that emotion. Whereas when you just maybe not be yourself and you try to please everyone, you don't really have an impact on people. But if you are yourself, some people might love you, some people might dislike you, but at least you're being yourself, and at least you're sparking that.
Exactly, man. Like, and to be honest, like, there's just way more positive stuff. There's way more love than there is, you know, the negative hate comments. So, you know, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
As long as I remember, like, you know what, that's just one comment. There's bare positivity. Let's just focus on that. Then it's all good. I try not to let any of, like, the hate bother me or get to me, because it's nothing really. It's just a comment. It is what it is. Do you get a lot of hate?
Luckily, no. It's always like 99% positive, and then maybe one person that says something negative. Maybe it's a personal attack, or maybe it's just something that's just not constructive. It might just be like, this beat is shit, or I don't know, just something that means nothing, that, like, you haven't given me any direction on why you think it's shit. It's just like, it's just a comment for the sake of it. And I always just feel like them kind of people they just seem so weird to me, because I wouldn't even click the dislike button if I'm going through people's videos.
Exactly.
If I don't like it, it's like, right, maybe this isn't for me, and I'll just leave. But to actually click on dislike, even that to me seems like a weird thing to do.
The action is weird. To sit down to type out hate and then
Yeah,
press send. I don't
yeah,
get it. I don't get it. I don't know. It's weird energy to me.
yeah.
Why would you want to put that energy out there? Yeah.
Exactly. I always quote Gary Vee on this because he put a video out on how people should deal with hate, and he boiled it all down to the fact that you should feel sorry for them people, because it's like, right, this person must be so low in their life that they need to jump onto a YouTube channel or Instagram account and actually type some negativity and bring them people down with them. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you start feeling sorry for them people, and you know what, it's like, yo, this guy, he must be actually, he's going through some shit. He's just in a bad place right now. He's trying to bring me down onto his level. Like, I'm just gonna feel sorry for this guy and just don't give him that attention. Like, either kill him with kindness and respond to him, and like, because I'll do this sometimes. I'll respond and just say, like, hey bro, thanks for watching the video, I appreciate your time, just something like that, because then they're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, and then they don't know how to respond to that.
And bro, sometimes even when you do that, it's like, oh, I didn't even mean it like that. Like, I'm a big fan of your video. Like, they fully 360 around. I've done that before, and it's just like, okay, you was just trying to get attention.
Yeah, exactly. At least you're giving them a bit of attention. You're kind of feeding them a little bit, but it's not the response they were expecting. So it just confuses them and kind of flips them around, like you said. So yeah, I'll either do that or sometimes literally just ignore it because I don't want to give any energy back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you try respond? I'm guessing, well, you obviously can't respond to everyone because of the amount of comments, but how much time do you think you spend like going through your DMs, like replying to people and like going through comments and trying to hit people back?
So I used to do it religiously, like respond to everything.
Yeah.
Now I can't. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's a bit too much. So it's just when I have spare time in the day nowadays. Like, let's say, I don't know, I might be sitting on the bus or something like that, and I'll just quickly respond to a few people. I'm just waiting for something, so I'll respond to a few people.
Right.
Before though, I used to set out, an hour a day to just respond to everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just try and do it when I can, to be honest.
There's only so much you can do, right? If you like, in an ideal world, you'd want to respond to everyone and show some love back. But if that's going to mean that you're spending 5 hours a day replying to comments, then that's 5 hours that you could be putting into your music or your videos to create more content. So I guess it's tough for you to balance that. How do you feel about people? I was asking Gummy Beatz this. How do you feel about people DMing you asking for collabs? Because I guess you get that a lot. New producers that maybe just message you and the first thing they ask for is a collab. How do you feel about that?
It depends. It just depends on the energy. Like, if you want to collab on a beat, you know what? It really just depends how they hit me up. If it's just like, bro, let's collab or let's work.
Yeah.
There's not much context to it. So it's just like, maybe I might respond in my head like, maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's like, I got these samples, they sound amazing. I got like some analog samples, I've been working with this person and that person. Let me send some to you. Then that's a question that's just a statement I could be like, yeah, send them to here. I'll check them out. It's easy to respond to. Yeah. When it's like, let's collab, it's like, now I need to do the thinking and think about, okay, so how do you want to do this? Do you want me to send you loops? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like the way how you answer it. I'm open to it, like, especially if there's a reason behind it, like you need beats for the artist that you're working for. Maybe you manage an artist and he's got some songs that he's put out and he needs beats. Yeah, like that. As long as there's some sort of content, I guess. What about you? Are you open to just collabing with anyone for the sake of it, or
I've got different ways of thinking about it, because sometimes, like, I would like to work with people. I don't mind working with people if I like their style of music. Like, if I think they're good or I just like the music, then yeah, I've got no problem with working with people. But it's when people just lead with asking for something, like you were saying. Then if people just DM me saying let's collab, there's no context behind it. There's no like conversation first. I'd rather just have a conversation with you. Like, for example, if someone messaged me and it's just like, yo, bro, how's it going? How's your day going? Or just a conversation or something, at least. Maybe they don't ask for something in that first message. Maybe they just respond to one of my stories saying, yo, this beat sounds sick. maybe they're just chatting to me, and then maybe like the fifth time they speak to me, they say, oh, you know what, I've been working on some fire loops. Is it cool if I send you some over and potentially we could work on something? Then I'm like a lot more open to it. But when people just message and ask for something, I start thinking maybe the only reason you're asking is because I've built up a YouTube platform. And I'm not saying that I have like a big, amazing platform that's going to work wonders, but I think people will just see something, don't they? And they'll be like, right, this guy's got a bit of a following. Let me reach out to this guy. If I get a collab with him, then that's going to level me up in a way. Like if someone is messaging you, for example, and says, right, let's collab. Like a lot of the time, they're probably just expecting you to like work with them so that their like social media can grow, or it can level them up, or it gives them some clout or whatever. Would you agree with that? Do you think that's what some people have the mindset of?
I'm sure so, for sure. Like there's probably an element to that. People probably have a perception like, oh, if I work with this person, maybe I even have it myself, like, oh, if I work with this person, then I'm just going to be up here.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's just never like that anyway.
No.
You still have to build your own buzz. You still have to do what you got to do.
Of course.
I don't know. I like to, I don't mind collabing with people, as you say, like if I like their work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I also like there just to be, you know, a reason or an intention.
Right. Yeah. It's not just like a selfish motive where I'm like, right, I'm going to get something out of this. Because like really, if someone's DMing you and they don't have anything to bring to the table in a way, I know that sounds bad, but if they don't, then what's in it for you? Because they want,
and you'd
they
be
want
surprised as
it.
well. Like the value proposition that you give doesn't even have to be massive. It doesn't have to be the fact that you've worked with Drake and everything. It just could be the fact that you have samples that no one else has. Yeah. Everyone is making these Q beats, flute samples, but instead you're making these synthy samples that I can't make personally, and I know you want that, so let me give it to you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a good example. Like I had this one kid who was only like 16 or something. He started following me on Instagram, and every time I put up a video of a beat or whatever, he'd always comment with something positive, saying, yo, this is sick. He'd reply to all my stories, never asked for anything. And then like a couple months later, like he'd DM me and say like, yo, this beat's sick, blah, blah, blah. Maybe even just ask like, yo, how's your YouTube going? Like, how's your producing going? Just like a general question. And I'll be like, yeah, everything's cool, man. And maybe like 2 months later, after putting all them like positive messages, he then asked for a collab and he was like, yo, I've just made some sick loops. Like, can I send them to you and see what you think? I was like, all right, yeah, I'll give him the time, because he spends a lot of time commenting on my stuff. And then I listened to them and I was like, yo, the loops are actually sick. And then we made a beat together. And that was just like a natural thing. And this kid's only 16. And I'm like, yo, if this kid's only 16 and he has that mindset where he's not just spamming people and asking for things, then that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
and exactly. I think that's probably like probably the best way to go. It's organic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with shooting your shot, because you just never know what can happen. But I just feel like there's better ways to do it than just straight up asking, you know. If you can give some sort of value, then that's just going to be well received. Yeah.
Same with people wanting to get rappers on the beats as well. I feel like a lot of mistakes that I see producers making is just straight away just messaging a rapper saying, yo, let's work, like, yo, let me send you beats, or just leading with something like that. Whereas if you spend the time to maybe follow this guy for a bit, drop comments on his videos, maybe you've just seen him put out a new single and you send him the single and say, yo, I really love this single that you put out. That punchline that you said about something was fire. You know, something where it shows that you've actually spent the time to actually research this guy's content. Then they're going to be more open to speak with you. They might say, yo, I appreciate that. And then at that point, maybe you can say, yo, I've cooked up some beats that I think really suit your vibe. Is it cool if I send some over? And just kind of leave it at that. It seems like a more natural thing to do rather than just spamming people or just sending things straight over saying, yo, let's work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think people could definitely take something from that.
This is something I'm definitely working on myself as well. Like, just getting better at sliding in the DMs, I guess, or shooting your shot, and like making sure that you actually provide value rather than just, you know, straight up asking for stuff all the time.
Yeah. I suppose with your platform though, that's kind of leading with value in a way, because if you message someone I think this is right. On Instagram, if you message someone, I think the people with like the most followers, or if they've got a blue tick or whatever, they usually show up at the top, don't they? Or am I making that
You
up?
know what? I think, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but
Right.
from in my Instagram, for some reason, if you have a certain amount of followers, then you
Yeah.
just straight bypass the request and you end up in my DM.
Oh, really?
That's what's been happening for me recently.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like people, but it's not all the time as well. I'm still trying to figure out, is it because they have the blue tick or not?
Yeah.
Some people just don't go into the request and go straight into my DM as if I'm following them or something,
Right. That's interesting.
which is mad.
Yeah. I was just thinking for you, because if you wanted to work with rappers, if you were to DM someone, they might look on your account and see the platform that you've got, and they'll be more open to working with you. I know that sounds bad and it shouldn't always be based on numbers, but I feel like it
That's the
definitely
reality, though.
must help to some degree, right? If you look on someone's page and you see them with an amount of followers, you're like, right, this guy might be someone. Do you know what I mean? It's
To an extent, yeah. What do you think about this? Do you ever get this perception, or people have a perception of you that you're just a YouTube producer?
That's an interesting one. I think sometimes we get a certain label. It's like they put us under this YouTube producer category, right? And yeah, I haven't had it like too much, but I've definitely seen it sometimes. And I think if the channel continues to grow, I imagine that people will put me into that category where I'm just a YouTube producer. Have you had it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure, man. Like,
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because what does that even mean? Because I upload beats to YouTube, because I do tutorials. Like, doesn't every producer upload beats to YouTube? Like, are you a YouTube producer? Is it only when we do tutorials?
It's a strange one.
Yeah,
I feel like I do get that perception though with like certain artists that I try and work with, or even certain producers as well. It's like, you're not a real producer. You just do the YouTube thing, you know?
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a tough one, isn't it? And I think with us being on YouTube, I think because we spend a lot of time on videos and editing and doing all that side of the business, catering towards producers, I think it gives us less time to network with artists and maybe speak to artists in DMs and go into studio sessions and things like that. So for me, I feel like being on YouTube, that's the only drawback where I'm like, because it takes so much time to do everything on that side, you don't have as much time as you'd like to just work directly with artists. Whereas if you weren't doing tutorials and your only focus was to just do beats, work with artists, and that's what you'd spend your day doing, rather than spending hours editing videos, you'd spend hours on Instagram DMing people.
But I guess it comes down to what you really want out of this, because if you're doing YouTube and stuff, then, I mean, as you know, like, you control your day. You've got so much ownership of your own life. Whereas if you're doing just straight up industry, unless you're a big name and you've had, you know, multiple placements and a few number ones or maybe a few platinums, if you're just straight up industry, a lot of things are out of your control.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to control your path in a way, or even to an extent when you get paid.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
So,
you kind of rely on other people at that point, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you could do like 5 tracks with an artist, and them tracks might not reach anywhere. They might not reach an album. They might not get put out as singles. You might not ever get paid. So I think that's definitely a benefit of YouTube, where you're kind of in control of everything yourself. You're not relying on someone else. You can put out your products when you want to put them out. You can put out your videos when you want to put them out. And I've always been a fan of just not having to answer to anyone, not having to rely on other people.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're the same, right?
100%, man.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, man, I think we've been through pretty much everything. I'm hoping people have took some gems from this episode, man. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've got a video to do today. So, man, I think if you've got anything else that you want to share with people, or if you just want to let people know where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube. My channel's just Ocean, but you might have to type in Prod by Ocean. On Instagram, Prod by Ocean as well. Twitter, Prod by Ocean. Just come through. Yeah,
make sure everyone go follow him. I'm sure everyone's heard of you already. Everyone's got you on YouTube, but if not, go check him out. Sick producer, really talented, and I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Man. Hey, thanks for having me, bro.
Anytime, bro. Much love.